Welcome to the PlanetLaundry Podcast. In this edition of the podcast, Bryan Maxwell, Senior Laundry Specialist for California-based distributor Western State Design, discusses his more than 30 years in the commercial laundry industry. From his start selling industrial OPL laundry equipment to eventually moving into the vended laundry segment. Bryan shares his views on how the laundromat industry has evolved and developed through the years, what lies ahead for the future of the business, and how, despite his upcoming retirement from Western State Design, he plans to stay closely involved in the industry through the operation of his own laundromat. The PlanetLaundry Podcast is brought to you by PlanetLaundry, the magazine of the Coin Laundry Association. This is the PlanetLaundry Podcast. My name is Bob Nieman, and I'm the editor of PlanetLaundry magazine. Today, I'm with Bryan Maxwell, the Senior Laundry Specialist for Western State Design, a major laundry distributor based in Hayward, California. Bryan started with Western State back in 1988, selling industrial laundry equipment. And in 2001, he and the company diversified into the vended laundry segment as well. Over the years, Bryan has given back to the industry, serving on the boards of directors for both the Coin Laundry Association and the CLA's former Northern California affiliate group. Personally, he's been very generous with his time and knowledge through the years when it comes to PlanetLaundry as well, often writing columns, contributing to feature articles, basically providing valuable input whenever called upon. So, Bryan, thanks for all you've done for me personally and the magazine in the past. And thanks for being here today.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Right. Well, in all the time that I've known you, in all our interactions that we've had throughout the years, I don't think I ever really got the backstory as to how you first got involved in the laundry business. And I think that's a great way to kind of kick off this conversation. Just how did you first get involved in this industry, and what attracted you to it?
It's kind of a funny thing because I don't think that. Well, I think there's very few people that actually get into this business intentionally, right? It's a small industry, right? And so nobody goes to college and says, okay, what do I want to do with this college degree? I want to go peddle laundry equipment, right? And so like everybody else that's gotten into this industry, I was involved in a Fortune 500 company, and as a college intern, decided I wanted to go into that world. Went into the high-tech Fortune 500 company with the high-tech, and it was the up-and-coming division. They were all excited about it, and man, you should come here, and worked there for 2 years. And one day I showed up to work, and there was a care package from corporate that said, your division's been sold. And so in that same location, I ended up working for 3 different companies. Never changed my job description, and decided that the corporate world is not my friend. And so went to work for a small investment company. That turned out to be even worse. Turns out the owner of the investment company was a crook. I got sued, and one day there was a chain on the door of the company. And so it was pretty dark time. We were coming into this business. Honestly, I was penniless, literally stapling my kids' shoes together, shopping at, thrift stores. And so it was taking my garbage to the pizza parlor at night because I couldn't pay my garbage bill. I mean, I was broke, right? So fast forward, I get a lead for this company that sells washing machines the size of a Buick. And I went, And actually it was interesting because it was when I first met with the ownership of Western State Design, I knew I wanted the job. And there was really 2 huge reasons that this industry attracted me. One is the business is simple. Is we sell equipment to people for 2 reasons. Either that equipment makes people money or saves them money. It's not glamorous, but it's a very simple need. And then the second reason I like the business is I could literally know the guy that signed my paycheck. And so I was not going to get surprised with a DHL package at 7:30 one morning. If there was an issue, I was going to hear about it first from him. And so the size of the industry appealed to me, but the simple nature of this business of just being able to help people had a real appeal to me.
Right. A real grassroots kind of level too. Very, very direct and very there.
And so that's how I love the simplicity, and it's changed my life.
Yeah, that's how it started. Well, I've heard you say this a number of times in the past. You've very humbly described yourself as someone with a very limited skill set, and those are your words, not mine. But what exactly do you mean by that? Because I know you're being very humble with that, but what does that mean? A limited skill set?
Well, it's really a comment on two things. One is the list of things I can't do is much longer than the list of the things I can. Right? I'm biotech's big here. Friends from high school started contracting companies. There's the list of things that I'm incapable of doing is huge. I'm also, the experience with corporate America and going to enough government meetings. I don't have the temperament to deal with that kind of a thing. But it's really more of a comment on this industry, is to be able to live. Like I said before, I came to this industry penniless. And now I'm retiring, as a 61-year-old guy with a few nickels in his pockets, with a nice net worth. And if you take the sales profession in general, you work for a big company, a big corporate company, to achieve the success that we've achieved in this industry, you're covering, the Western United States that starts in Tennessee, and you're in a hotel 5 nights a week. Right. And so this industry, to be able to go and to make a living and do, to help people, it's really more about a fit for me in this industry, and being really fortunate that I found it. I do think I can help people make money, and I can help people save money. And I do think it's, that I've been pretty decent at it. But like I said, the list of things that I can't do is much longer than the list that I can, and I'm extremely fortunate that this industry found me.
Right. Well, those are great points. I think you're still being too humble, but definitely great points. And I hear what you're saying with that. In more than 30 years, you've no doubt dealt with ups and downs, as you've alluded to here in the beginning. In business life, in just life in general, there's ups and downs. And I think that gives, it gives the long view perspective. And I think that's important to touch on. And is there anything that you can speak to as far as maybe sharing any anecdotes or lessons learned from your career regarding the roller coaster nature of the business world, not necessarily the laundry industry, but just the business world?
Yeah, no, I think that, gray hair and, doing things for a long time, you get to see and experience a lot of things. In our case, you take probably the worst tragedy of my lifetime, which was 9/11. It's the worst thing that happened to this country, no question, in my lifetime. And, the whole, concept that, adversity makes you stronger. Well, in this particular case, in 9/11, our company, Western State Design, was primarily an industrial OPL laundry equipment distributor. We dabbled in coin, but we really didn't do it well. One of the manufacturers that we represent now had been trying to pursue Western State Design for about a year. And honestly, after 9/11, we had customers that refused to pay their bills, and big bills. I had a customer that owed us $500,000 that said, "I'll pay you, but I can't do it today." We had projects where big industrial projects, we put them down into a basement, and the building was built up over it, and the project stopped. And they said, "Well, you want your equipment back? You can have it." Well, we physically couldn't get it back. So it was really scary. And Dexter, the company that we ultimately became a distributor for, it asked us repeatedly. And then after 9/11, it was like, well, we need to diversify. And so the commitment to Dexter, we didn't tell them, but the commitment to Dexter was not that significant. It was like, okay, can we get through the next 18 months, put a few nickels in our pocket, and then get back to business as usual. And by 2007, we're the largest Dexter distributor on the planet. I now own a laundromat that gives me an exit strategy out of this business. And literally the relationship with Dexter and getting into the coin laundry business literally changed my life. So adversity did create opportunities, and it's it's been amazing.
Right. So it was actually 2001 that was your introduction to the laundromat business.
We got backed into that, and it just it was just an amazing relationship that and it turned out, for me personally, that segment of the business fit my personality and my temperament pretty well, and it's been a lot of fun, and I think I've contributed to the industry, and it's but it doesn't happen without 9/11.
Absolutely. Well, since you've been involved in it, what are some of the changes? What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen in this business since you've gotten into it?
Probably the biggest one is technology. I think the networking of laundromats is a game changer. I think the personal freedom it gives to owners, the ability to solve problems on the fly, right? Because when you're talking about the community that we serve, I remember talking to a customer who was out of town at a convention, and he had a lower income person come in on a Sunday night to use some machines, and the machines didn't, for whatever reason, took their money, and this lady didn't want a refund. She wanted her problem solved because her kids were going to go to school with dirty clothes, right? And so, he gets on his phone, looks at the video, sees that she really did use the machine, starts the other machine remotely for free. I mean, the lady was in tears, right? And so the ability to serve our customers remotely, the ability to manage your business, now as a store owner, I know exactly how much money is in every machine, right? So, it's like, okay, do I go out to dinner with my wife or I go collect? Well, I can look at my phone and say, we're okay. We got another couple hours before those machines are going to be full, right? So that personal freedom, and then you get error messages, right? So it's like all of a sudden you're having drain errors, that you have stuff clogged in the drain, all those kinds of things. Instead of guesswork, it's all in real time. So that technology, I think, is amazing. The other part of technology that has changed a lot is the ability to pay with credit cards, whether it's a payment app or whether it's a pay at the pump system. The ability to have people come in and instead of putting in 40 quarters, just be able to hit a button on their phone or swipe with their credit card, I think is a game changer. And so I know in my case, I have an app in my store. For every 4 deposits I do, I would have had to do 5. So, it's freeing up time, right? And so, I think the technology side of things, and I think the other thing that's really changed is the quality of the owners, the actual store owners, the professionalism, the type of owner that runs the businesses. I mean, I think that, you see it at the Clean Show and the different conventions and the Excellence in Laundry conventions and the quality of people that are being attracted to our industry. I know in Northern California, you have people that are in high tech, that are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and they go, well, I can buy a laundromat and replace that income, and then they want to know how to do it right? So they have a different paradigm. They understand that, a business was doing X, and if I do the right investment, I can make it do, 50% more or twice as much. And they understand the business side of things, and they don't have a small paradigm, which I think the older people that, abused their customers, didn't treat their customers well, didn't care about their store. I think those types of customers are being overtaken by the higher quality people, right? And so, so the quality of people that I deal with every day is changed a lot in 20 years.
Right. Laundry owners have definitely changed. They've been changing. It's kind of been evolving through the years. Do you think that's maybe a function of the technology, or is the technology following the change in laundry owners coming into the industry?
That's a good question. I think we would attract, without the technology, I think we would still attract better people. I think that this is a non-glamorous basic need that I think if you're a smart person and you're a smart businessman or business person, that you're going to understand that this business is, well, not glamorous. I mean, nobody's going to get excited that the machines in a commercial or a movie, right? But
All right.
right, but they'll be very excited about what you deposit, right? And I know even in my business, there are some people that I knew kind of, oh, how's the laundry doing? Okay, right. I mean, they don't understand, right? But I think professionals are getting into the business and understanding what the opportunities are, and I think it's attracting a different quality of people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, how has your role in the industry changed through the years? Has it changed with technology, with the different types of owners, different types of stores? How has that affected your role?
Well, I mean, other than the big role of 9/11 and switching actually into the vended side of the business, I don't think that where my role, I think we just have more tools to give people. I think how I do my business and how I approach my customers and the relationship that I have with my customers, I don't think that has changed. It's just now we have more resources. You know, the machines are bigger, the technology, payment apps, these different things, you know, that we can use to, assist people. But it's, how I've done my business, I think I've been pretty consistent where I've really just, if you stand on the same side of the table as the customer and we work together, I'm pretty proud that I think most people would say that they've done business with me have said that I was more of a partner than a salesman. And that's never changed.
That's what you want to hear. Absolutely. Okay. Right. You're in more stores than most people in and out of laundromats. How have the laundromats themselves changed over the years? The actual stores?
Well, I think there's an evolution to bigger stores, right? Some of the little things that I think lighting, it sounds crazy, but you go back to the basic, this industry surveys that CLA's been doing forever, right? Well lit, safe, right? And you have people that that go in and they have dark, stores that are not well lit and don't feel safe, right? Well, now with LED lighting and things, I know in my store, my store is extremely well lit. I'm using 1/3 the power, and it's you probably see my lights from the space shuttle, right? So but I mean, I think that it's those kinds of things, bigger machines, the things that the trends that have been going on for forever, the use of technology.
So how has the industry, I guess, improved itself over the years? And maybe you've answered that in all these past questions. It's the technology, it's just a constant upgrading.
Yeah, no, I think that the quality of people that we have, our industry has attracted, has resulted in a significant improvement in the quality of laundromats, right? So, people understand that if they do it right, they finish it up and they make the investment, the rewards are there. And so I think we're serving customers better, no question. And I think more people understand the marketing side of doing right by people. If you serve your community, your business will grow, right? There are still people that are bottom feeders that, just don't care and the places look like garbage. But honestly, the opportunities that come along for those people that are new into the industry and will work with someone like myself to make the laundry better and serve the community better, their business takes off.
Perfect. Great point. Well, Bryan, I kind of buried the lead here with this whole interview, but you're retiring this year. and I guess I kind of intentionally buried it because you're not really retiring. And I guess I just want to talk about that a little bit. First, how do you know when it's time to maybe throttle back a little bit? And secondly, let's talk about, you've alluded to it, you're a laundromat. You are a laundromat owner. Let's talk about this second act that's going to keep you in the laundry industry for a long time.
Yeah, well, I always wanted I always imagined my exit strategy would include a laundry, right? I mean, I think that, I came into this industry with nothing and I was a little late to the savings game because of, being in a hole when I started, right? So I knew that I was going to have to have a laundry someday, or either that or work till I'm 80, right? And so it was always part of my plan, but it was also always part of my plan to do it towards the end of my career. And it was really a core philosophy of I never wanted my customers to feel threatened by me. I never want them to feel like the information they were providing to me was going to bite them in the rear. And so, once I made the decision to own the laundromat, I knew it was going to affect some people. And matter of fact, one of my customers that happened to be closest to my laundromat, the day that I closed, I had lunch with him and said, somebody bought the laundromat down the street to somebody's me.
Okay.
Right? Because I wanted to know. Right. And so, it's always been part of the plan. It's just always been part of the plan towards the end. And the right opportunity became available, and it's 15 minutes from my house. And then, so that was going along, and it's doing just fine. And we have some other investments that are doing just fine. But ultimately, the real decision is I have 3 adult children. 2 are married. The 2 that are married live in Southern California, 400 miles away for people that don't know California. We had our first biological grandchild last September, and our first foster to adopt grandchild was born last August that we hope to be part of our life. And I don't want to I can't work the way I have for 30 years and spend the time that I don't want them to, FaceTime my grandkids all the time. So really the drive was, run the laundromat and, do we have the resources to live okay? How can I spend some time with these new family members? And so that's really the driving force behind it. But I probably will own my laundromat for at least 10 years, maybe longer. But that's that was the plan.
Well, congratulations on the grandchildren, of course. Tell me about you did a lot of work on that laundromat. There was a lot I've seen before and after photos of that. You did quite the renovation job.
Yeah, no, I'm really proud of it. But basically I took, my 30 years or 20 years of the vended side of experience and things that I've learned from people. One is the lighting. I mean, it's amazing the technology, right? So mine runs at a certain brightness level, during the day, and the system knows when sunset is in the town of my laundromat and goes to 100% every day at a different time. Whenever it becomes sunset, the light goes up to 100%, right? Obviously made a huge investment in laundry equipment, granite folding tables, new flooring, new walls. We used to have this disgusting 70s paneling with orange laminate, so all that's new. And one little shout out to Brian Grill from Eastern Funding. He preaches the gospel of having a good bathroom. I have a full-time staff that are incredible, probably as good as anybody I've ever seen. My staff. That was all luck. But we can have the luxury of having a great bathroom. And it sounds like a crazy thing, but my bathroom is really nice per Brian Grill, and it's used so often that every 3 months I was having to replace the doorknob.
Oh, wow.
That's how much it's used, right? And so I know that I'm serving customers that way, right? And so actually ended up buying a $500 doorknob that won't be replaced because of having, but this bathroom, it's a revolving door. And I think for people that close off their bathroom and have full-time attendants, I can just say, I think it's one of the simplest or the biggest mistakes people make now that I might own a laundromat, right? So thank you, Brian Grill.
Right. There you go. All right. What is your day-to-day going to look like in the coming months? Can you kind of take me through how you envision that as just a laundromat owner?
That it does sound appealing, doesn't it? I've worked 50, 60 hours, 70 hours a week for most of my career. And so this is going to be nice. So I like to play tennis. So I play a lot of tennis. I hope to actually get some decent golf clubs, maybe play some golf. But the laundromat, like I said, I have a full-time staff that are really incredible. And so probably 20 hours a week at the laundry, doing the things. We've got some vending machines. So, restocking those. And as a matter of fact, in the vending machines, all of the profit that comes from the vending machines actually goes to my grandkids' college education. And so I'm hoping that as the kids grow up and they become 4 or 5 years old and they come hang out with grandpa, they can help stock the vending machines and know that that's part of their college education, right? So, and then, yeah, and then ideally, if we could spend a month in Southern California hanging out with the grandkids, that would be ideal. So 20 hours a week in the laundry, a week a month, maybe you're 4 or 5 days a month down in Southern California, and then the rest, I have 2 puppies, which getting puppies at 61 is probably not the smartest thing I've ever done. But hanging out with the dogs and the wife, and do a little bit of traveling. We're going to the south of France in September for a couple weeks, and so
very nice. Sounds perfect and well deserved. Over the years, I mean, you've probably met just about everybody in the laundry business, and just wonder what type of advice you've taken away over the years. What is some of the best advice that you've heard from others that you've kind of clicked with you and that you've taken away and held on to?
Well, I'll throw out a couple. One of the things that happens with sales is when it's going well, is glamorous, right? And so you'll have a lot of people say a lot of nice things, and so it's sometimes it can go to your head, and sometimes you can become overconfident and think maybe you're a little bit better than you are, right? An executive for one of the companies we represent had a great line. He said, "A rising tide raises all ships." And so, when you think you're just super special, realize that everybody's ship went higher many times. If sales are great, I mean, of course they're great. If the economy's going well and you're selling great products and you work for a great company and you have people that support you, and we make the promises, but we don't execute them, right? Somebody has to do it, right? So if you have a good team support you, then it's because you're part of this whole dynamic, and it really allows you to step back and be a little bit more thankful than it does. Okay, I'm somebody special, right? I'm not a man with an S on my shirt. I'm just part of a really good group of people, and I think it really grounds you, right? And then completely unrelated to the business is a lot of different characters that have come to work for Western State Design I've rubbed shoulders with. And one guy was this crusty, hard-driving, ex-alcoholic, chain-smoking crane salesman that came to work for us as a sales guy. And ended up spending a lot of time training him. But he had a great line that he said that some of the biggest problems in life is that people compare their outsides or their insides to the outsides of others. And meaning that, in the world of social media, everybody puts perfection on there, right? That, they're not showing pictures of the dog taking a leak in the middle of the kitchen floor, right? They're showing, the cute puppy that's right. And so you only see what people choose to reveal. And so, your own insecurities, your fallibilities, your limitations, but you're comparing it to, what you perceive the success of everybody else, right? And so I think especially in today, the young people with social media, I think that's one of the most powerful things that somebody's ever said to me, and had nothing to do with business, right? So, when you're feeling a little bit bad about yourself, realize that, you're comparing your insides to somebody else's outside, right? What they choose to reveal. So I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and it's a great line too. Absolutely, yeah. How about yourself? Have you developed maybe a personal philosophy over the years that helps you guide your decisions, business-wise, in life?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. I think I tell you my pet peeve. My pet peeve is people that the first time you hear about a problem is in a meeting with everybody there, or in a chain email with everybody there, right? And I can honestly say that in my career, there has never been anyone surprised what I said to management, because I've always said it to them first, right? I mean, as an example, years ago, we had a guy that was running our warehouse. He lost a $15,000 washer, completely lost it off the dock. A trucker stole it. It was an odd situation. They actually found it, got it back, got the trucker fired. The next day, the guy lit me up over not turning in some paperwork right to everybody in management. Are you kidding me? Right? And so I don't know if that fits into a PlanetLaundry Podcast, but it is my pet peeve. And I think that if we would all be better served if people learned how to confront privately before publicly.
Great point. Absolutely. I can't argue with that. What's been the most gratifying aspect of your life in the laundry industry?
I'm really, really proud of helping a lot of people. I can honestly say that doing what we do has changed the lives of many of our customers and the next generation or two, right? And so going into a laundry of somebody that's new to this industry and helping them out and creating wealth for people. Honestly, if I could do that in part of the business and just meet with people and consult with people and help them with it and not have to execute it, right? With the construction and all of the things that have to happen to make it happen, I could do it forever. I mean, I really enjoyed working with people, and I would say that 97% of the customers I work with I'm really close to them, and I've been blessed with a really good customer base. And when you have somebody build this first and second and third store, and you see them, taking their kids are going to go to college because of what you help them do, that's really rewarding.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm definitely proud of it.
What does the future look like for the laundromat business?
I think it's about as good as it's ever been. I think that there's some threats, with the COVID supply chain issues, with lead times and pricing and so forth. So you're going to have to be a little bit more committed to it because it's going to take a little longer to get it and it's going to cost a little bit more. But I don't see how that's going to change the dynamic of. If you take a major investment and say, okay, it's going to cost me $1,000 a month more to make this investment, it doesn't change the dynamics. It maybe changes your return on investment and moves it back 6 months or a year. But I think the trend towards better quality stores that serve people better. I've been spent a lot of time training, my replacement and the next generation of Western State Design sales folks. And I'm passionate with them that this is, I think it is a unique industry that will continue to grow and continue to change people's lives. And I think, people will always need clean clothes. And so I don't see it changing. And, if I could have convinced one of my kids to get involved with it, I would. I mean, I think that so for the next generation coming up, I think it's, with the future so bright, you got to wear shades, right? So right. I still feel that way.
Right. Very good. Well, hey, last question, Bryan, and I appreciate your time. You had to see this one coming, but what are you most looking forward to in retirement?
Yeah, just, family, right? I mean, I'm, being able to spend time with the kids and the family and, maybe I could bump up a level in my tennis game, but, I'm a pretty simple guy. I have, it's really just enjoying people, friends and family. And, and doing what I've done for a long time, it's pretty intense, especially if you have a lot going on. Right. So, reducing the level of intensity, is probably good for me and my wife.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. That's a great place to leave it right there. Bryan, thank you so much. And thank you for everything you've done for me over the years too.
No, it's been a blast and I've enjoyed our relationship.
Thanks for joining us on our podcast today. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to Planet Laundry at PlanetLaundry.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube.